This is Pharma Forum web editor Nicole Raleigh, and I am on site in Chicago for the American Society of Clinical Oncology Congress, otherwise known as ASCO 2025. And with me here at McCormick Place is Aaron Brauser, President of Realyze Intelligence Healthcare Solutions, a Carta Healthcare company. Lovely to speak with you, Aaron.
Yeah, great to speak with you as well.
So, Realyze Intelligence is improving cancer care by accelerating clinical trials and delivering real-world data, or RWD. And Carta Healthcare has helped reduce patient screening time from hours to minutes and boosted trial enrolment fivefold.
Yeah.
So, I was wondering, Aaron, from a pharma perspective, how does this translate into faster, more efficient trial execution and time to market benefits?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest challenges, obviously, with more precision therapeutics right now is identifying the patients that match those therapeutics, but not only identifying them, but at the point in time when they could actually be enrolled in a trial.
Mm-hmm.
I think traditionally we've used a lot of clinical humans and manual processes to screen patients or rely on the physicians to remember every trial that's open at that time to match those. So by having technology in place that can help aid those processes and those manual workflows to really drive that to be identify those patients, giving a higher likelihood of actually getting those patients on trial and accelerating that trial through the whole process.
Absolutely. So if we're thinking about screening, there was a new study published in JAMA Network Open, the journal, that found overtreating older women, those over 70 with breast cancer, might actually be detrimental and not improving survival of recurrence. So if we consider overtreatment in the breast cancer space, and particularly older breast cancer patients at this time, how can pharma then leverage precision medicine tools to better target therapies and support value-based care initiatives?
Yeah, I think that the data is the key there. And what typically happens, traditionally is it would require a clinical trial to be put in place and maybe years of data being collected to do the analysis. Now, by actually looking at patients as these procedures and as these therapeutics are being given and collecting that data in real time, then information can be used to make these decisions. So we've seen by scouring over the past couple years how many patients were treated, what were the outcomes, use that data then to influence as new patients come in, using those same patterns to actually drive decision making in real time.
Thank you. So if we stick with data and think now about published studies on electronic health records, or EHRs, those EHR-based nudges, if you will, and surgical de-escalations suggest tangible clinical impact. And therefore, I was just wondering, how can or should pharma companies interpret such results in terms of identifying real-world endpoints and optimizing trial design?
Yeah, we did a study with University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, a JAMA article, where they were able to take these patterns. So by looking in past data, find the patterns of overtreatment, and then as those patients are coming in, be able to provide that real-time nudges to physicians to actually decrease. Now, I think with pharma can use that same data in collaboration with these different sites to understand where these types of issues happen, not retrospectively 3 years ago, but in real time, to be able to now influence decision making and use data to share with the clinicians of why it's important to change either care pathways or actually implement maybe a clinical trial for a patient.
It all comes back to real-time data.
It does.
That seems the theme at the moment.
Yeah.
But if we stick with the collaboration note, what partnerships or integrations are most critical for scaling Carta Healthcare's capabilities across pharma pipelines? That's
Yeah.
my first part of the question. And also, how do you see this influencing companion diagnostics or biomarker-driven development strategies?
Yeah, so I think that we're starting to see a lot more standardization of data. I think one of the challenges, especially in the United States, is having all of the regulations with HIPAA and the silos of data makes it very difficult for data to be shared and real world data to be interpreted. But now that we're using AI technologies, we can extract the data, de-identify it, and then also provide that information so pharma can use it for their analysis, but then guide the sites so that in real time, if there's genomic data markers, what is the best care pathway for that? And traditionally, all of that data is in unstructured notes or in PDFs. Following now, the technology can extract that information and make it actionable in real time.
Yeah. So sticking with AI, my final question for you today, Aaron. Looking ahead, how do you see the role of natural language understanding and AI evolving in clinical decision making and trial design across cancer types, not just in breast cancer?
Yeah, and we've seen a huge evolution in the last few years with large language models and the advancement of natural language processing using these tools. I think the hype, was it's going to solve every problem. I think where we're starting to see serious impacts is being able to use the technology to aid the clinician in their decision making, not technology versus the human kind of analysis, but actually use it to guide and do the digging into the past medical records so that they can see it instantly and make these decisions.
Well, thank you very much, Aaron.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Enjoy ASCO.
Yeah, you as well.
All the best.
Thank you.